Here are the top 10 reasons that I am super bullish on Bitcoin in the long term, and I see it not only, of course, blasting past the previous highs of $20,000, but reaching new valuations in the hundreds of thousands, maybe even up to $1 million, basically making the rocket trip to the frickin' moon, guys. And of course, flipping the market cap of gold on the way to that destination, which, if we were to account for the current market cap of gold, which is around $7.5 trillion, would see a Bitcoin of around $350,000 a piece. And actually, guys, I think that Bitcoin will not only flip gold, but also establish itself as a completely new asset class, completely uncorrelated to anything that we have seen before, which, for some of the reasons that I'm about to list here for you, could actually see Bitcoin hit $1 million a piece or more. Now, before breaking down those 10 reasons for you, I actually have something that I am really excited to get to share with you guys. The team over at Crypto Briefing, who for me personally has been a long go-to as a source of knowledge in the crypto space because of their awesome in-depth cryptocurrency reviews, they are launching a new research tool to help you maximize your crypto investments. It's being called SIMETRI. These are the kind of reports that venture capital firms get and that they use to inform their investing. Now, those kind of reports are available to you and to me. The service is $125 a month with a discount offered for a yearly subscription to the service. There is a referral link down below to get signed up if you want to check out what SIMETRI has to offer. Okay, guys, let's get into our top 10 reasons here. So, number one, Bitcoin is going through a kind of getting serious phase right now as the institutional money is starting to come in, which many enthusiasts may not care that much about, and many enthusiasts even kind of loathe. But in terms of price action and of kind of approval for the asset, this is absolutely huge. The institutions are showing up big time. Institutional money is here, and institutional money is only coming more and more every single day. The Intercontinental Exchange is launching back. Fidelity is pushing Bitcoin to millions of their customers with sales efforts scheduled to be ramped up over the coming year. NASDAQ is getting into crypto, partnering up with various players like ErisX to launch Bitcoin futures. We have Ameritrade, who is in the process of offering crypto trading on their platform. We have pension funds who are starting to invest in crypto. We have hedge funds who are getting involved in crypto. We have the CME Group, which currently has the biggest regulated futures market for Bitcoin, which has been seeing record-breaking day after record-breaking day of volume over the last few months. And that is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. Overall, institutional volume has been very strong and will only continue to grow as the asset gets more and more serious. Number two, Bitcoin is increasingly being seen as the ultimate non-sovereign financial hedge against political uncertainty. Premiums are currently being paid in places like Hong Kong, Iran, and China, and volume is growing all the time in places like Venezuela and Turkey. And of course, we continue to see strong interest from key jurisdictions like Russia, the EU, and the USA, particularly as we see the global trade wars heating up. And the current trade wars are going way beyond just new tariffs on phones. There is a huge and vicious battle for the domination of the oil markets, which is seeking basically to tank entire economies and crush various fiat currencies in places like Russia, for example. Then there is open rebellion of Europe against the US-led order by launching Instex, which is essentially their own version of the SWIFT network, at the same time that we see Russia and China are also launching a SWIFT competitor. The economic battles and the increased tariffs are driving high net worth individuals and regular citizens alike the world over into the waiting hands of Bitcoin, the world's #1 non-state currency. Which leads me on to my next point. Number 3. Bitcoin is censorship resistant. It literally cannot be stopped by any state actor anywhere. You can transfer value to anyone, anywhere, anytime, regardless of geographic location, regardless of political affiliation, of sanctions, of religion, of citizenship, what you do to make your money, or anything else. Gold, by comparison, sadly has proven itself to be 100% censorable. There have been multiple cases of banks and governments confiscating gold over the last few years from countries that they don't really like. That's censorship, guys. And being able to, of course, discreetly and frictionlessly and quickly ship hundreds of millions of dollars of value using gold, that's just a joke, guys. It doesn't work. And in the age of deplatforming, where people are being evicted from Patreon and PayPal and the credit card networks, Bitcoin is super, super relevant. Bitcoin knows no politics. Bitcoin is here for everyone and is able to transfer massive value anywhere in the world. Which leads me on to number 4. The global economic order is totally screwed up, guys, and it's getting worse by the day. More than 40% of global bonds offer no profit. In fact, the situation with sovereign bonds has become so dire that those who actually hold bonds to maturity are actually receiving less than they put in. Bonds are no longer a safe haven investment. There is a reason that countries like China and Russia are dumping bonds and buying big time into gold. Central banks are completely unable to manage the global economy. In fact, they're terrible at it. Their big innovation over the past couple of decades, inflation. Just keep printing money. That's crazy. They're literally just printing more money backed by nothing but fantasies. The fantasy that the issuer is going to be able to pay out some sort of value on that in the future. And everyone is printing money these days, guys, meaning that your fiat is worth less and less every single day. It's a mess. Then, of course, you have big banks like Deutsche Bank with 49 trillion in derivatives, which is on the brink of failure, which due to the incest between the banks will drag other banks down with it if it does go, and possibly the whole damn global economy. Then there is the debt insanity. Most governments are in crippling debt. Like debt so bad, it's never going to be paid. In the US, something like 20 cents on every dollar of tax revenue goes to servicing the $22.5 trillion national debt. By the end of the next decade, it is predicted that it is likely that the yearly debt payments will even surpass America's military expenditures. And the USA is not alone here, guys. It's Japan, it's Italy, it's Portugal, it's Greece, it's Singapore, and on and on and on. So many economies are drowning in unpayable debt. When the house of cards comes crumbling down, and it will, then guess what? The banks will start doing things like bail-ins, where they steal your money from your account, just like they did over in Cyprus. Fiat currencies will fall so hard, and people who never thought that it could happen to them will be taking bags of dollars down to the supermarket to buy one loaf of bread. And if you think that your fiat is safe, then just talk to citizens of countries the world over who thought that their fiat currency was safe. Bitcoin may be one of the only real hedges against this political dysfunction. And actually, the rest of the world is actually starting to take notice, which brings me on to number 5, the leapfrog effect. There are currently billions of people who are still disconnected from the global financial system and lack the basics like bank accounts or the ability to access loans. Those people, though, they do not need bank accounts. We don't need to bring them into a broken system. They need decentralized global money for the age of interconnectedness, for the age of the internet. Their local governments have failed them completely with things like capital controls or totally debased fiat currencies. The powerful nations have used the tools of the economic order to keep these people on the fringe. They need decentralized money and decentralized finance. Removing the barriers to finance for people in countries the world over will add untold trillions to the global GDP and basically bring in an entire new wave of innovation which will unleash on the world basically a new golden age of economic prosperity. But we have to remove the barriers for that to happen. This could be a society where everyone has equal access to money and can do business with anyone, anywhere, at any time, which is a far cry from the system today, which has created a master and slave class for nations and within nations. We all need decentralized money. While systems in more developed nations function, they are still largely exploitative in nature and are far from being equally applied or equally accessible to everyone, even within the most advanced societies. Crypto will provide the ultimate equality of access to finance, moving us to economies which actually are based on free markets, not on crony capitalism. Number 6. We are increasingly seeing more and more regulatory certainty in key jurisdictions for crypto around the world, which has been a big barrier for both the retail and the institutional investor to feel comfortable buying and holding crypto. Countries like Japan and France and Switzerland and Malta and Australia, hell, the whole damn G20 is getting serious about bringing regulatory certainty into the industry. And even the USA is getting more and more serious about providing clear rules for the entire country, not just the mishmash of state legislation you currently have. And of course, more regulations are not always a good thing, mind you guys, as we have seen with, for example, the travel rule, which will put 20th century banking laws into place for cryptocurrency exchanges, which is not a good thing. But generally, we are trending towards a situation where investors can feel that they have the support of the legal system and of the institutions of their country so they can feel more comfortable buying Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies because of, clearer tax rules, more derivative products, and all that fun kind of stuff. Number 7, Bitcoin is sound money. That means that Bitcoin cannot be debased. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, and many millions are already lost, potentially never to be seen again. There will be no adding in cheap metals to the mix, much like you saw happen with silver coins in the past as one of many examples. There will be no printing more dollars, which is another way to debase your currency. And as more and more people learn about and want to buy Bitcoin, the price can only go up as the asset will become increasingly rare due to the fixed supply. And on that topic, number 8, the Bitcoin halving. Fiat currency only really has upward supply pressure as governments print more and more money over time. Bitcoin is very much the opposite of this. It has big supply reductions programmed into the code every 4 years. The next halving event is less than a year away. Now, to me, that says that midterm, over the next few years, we are going to see massive appreciation in the price of Bitcoin. And that by the end of the next decade, when daily Bitcoin emission is way low, and when we get to the point of where it's less than 1 Bitcoin per block, we will be mooning hard, guys, due to the massive scarcity of Bitcoin on the markets, all of which is happening at a time when more and more investors want to get a piece of Bitcoin. And at a time when we have, for example, like Wall Street launching physically backed cryptocurrency products, meaning that they will need at a minimum tens of thousands of Bitcoin just to back the initial offering of their products, let alone the long-term vision for that. Number 9, Bitcoin and related cryptocurrencies are literally the future of money, guys. We are moving into a hyper-connected world, a digital world. Bitcoin is the money of the internet. Bitcoin is digital gold. National fiat currencies are becoming less and less relevant for a wide variety of reasons. The money of the internet should not be the money of one country. It should be, much like the internet is, accessible, global, and available to everyone. It should be a non-state money. Made for you, made for me, made for everyone, everywhere. Bitcoin fits that bill perfectly. And finally, number 10. Bitcoin has literally never been bigger in terms of brand awareness and availability. People the world over have at least heard of Bitcoin. Millions have bought at least a little bit of crypto. We currently have record-breaking volumes happening across the crypto market, and Bitcoin is truly more available than ever before. Really, buying Bitcoin has never been easier. There's Cash App and Abra and eToro and Robinhood and 175,000 new ATMs by the end of 2020. Loads of high-volume spot exchanges, increased volumes on local Bitcoins in developing nations. Derivatives markets are going crazy. The Bitcoin virus is spreading, and there is nothing that anyone can do to stop it. So guys, any one of these reasons could be enough to push Bitcoin into the hundreds of thousands per unit range. All of them together make it, in my mind, seem a near certainty that Bitcoin will be the best performing asset class of my lifetime. And remember that Bitcoin is still in what is likely to be a multi-decade price discovery phase, and we're at the early stage of that phase. Sure, I didn't buy Bitcoin at $3 like some people did. That's okay. You know why? Because they'll be telling stories in 10 years about people who bought Bitcoin under $100,000 like they were some kind of wise financial wizards. When in reality, we were just dudes and dudettes who liked to stack sats and chill. Remember, 1 million Satoshis today only costs around $125. The only question someone should be asking themselves is, can I really afford not to own any Bitcoin? Anyway, guys, just my 2 Satoshis. As always, super keen to know what you guys have to say about this topic or my top 10 list. Did I miss anything really important? Hit me up down below in the comment section. As always, you guys are totally freaking awesome. So thank you so much for coming out and watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, hit that thumbs up button. That would be supremely awesome, guys. And of course, if you're new around here, remember to subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell to know when I put out a new video. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.